In order to safely get away, we're going to have to be quiet. We're going to have to zip our lip. Zip it and zip it good. If you were with a narcissist, they probably told you over and over again to shut up. So let's just take them up on their offer. Let's just be quiet and not say anything. Take them up on their challenge. Which one of you can stay the quietest the longest? You'll find out that the more quiet you are, the more it works in your favor. Get quiet before you get gone. How to safely leave a narcissist. Why is it that we need to be quiet before we leave a narcissist? There's several reasons. Number one, you're probably dealing with a volatile or violent narcissist. You're dealing with a person that you constantly have to walk on eggshells around anyway. You have to be careful. You have to try very hard not to set off any booby traps. You don't know when and where this narcissist is going to go off on you, literally. Narcissists like control. They will keep their eyes on you. They're watching your every move, your every behavior. So it's best to just keep quiet. If you're upset about something, they make you angry, don't let that be known to them. Just kind of keep it to yourself, knowing in your mind that one day you're going to leave this place. You're going to leave them. How do you know the narcissist is volatile? You've seen their behavior in the past. You know how violent they could get. My narcissistic ex-husband was the type of person that would keep a crowbar underneath the bed on his side. So I knew very well how dangerous he was. I didn't trust him, and I knew he had a quick temper, so it was best for me not to provoke him in any way with my words. Therefore, I would just get quiet. Narcissists get angry at you at the drop of a dime. They will push you. They will hold you down. They will restrain you. So it's best to just keep quiet when you're getting ready to leave them. The second reason why you want to be quiet before you leave a narcissist is because they have a tendency to sabotage or intercept your plans. If they get wind of you trying to leave them, they will do anything in their power to stop you. They will start putting on the charm. They will start making apologies. They will do whatever it takes to keep you in the relationship, to keep you in the house, to keep you in their presence. You know that the narcissist is going to try to sabotage your plans based on their past behavior. They'd always tell you, you're not going anywhere. You can't leave me. They don't believe in goodbyes and getting closure. They want no parts of it. So it's best for you to be as quiet as a mouse, as quiet as possible. Don't disclose anything to the narcissist. No information. Now that we've talked about why it's necessary to be quiet before you get gone from a narcissist, let's talk about the how. How is it that we're going to keep quiet? When you go quiet, you're going to have to cover up a lot of things, including your mouth. You're going to have to close your mouth, cover your mouth. You're going to have to stop talking overall and in general. You're going to have to quiet down on your engagement with the narcissist. You don't want to say anything to them that's going to cause them to pick up on your emotional state. You may be quite sad, quite depressed that you're getting ready to leave your spouse, leave your boyfriend, leave your family member. So you don't want to say anything that could give you away. You want to keep as quiet as possible. Narcissists will only use the information that you give them to control you. The more you talk, the more you express yourself, the more information or ammo they have to control you, to keep reign over you. If you say less and if you say nothing, narcissists have to figure it out. And a lot of times they'll get it wrong. When I went quiet on the narcissist, when I stopped begging him to stay home with me, when I stopped asking him to do right by me, when I stopped asking him where was he going and specific details about him leaving the house, when I stopped quote unquote nagging him, I got quiet. And he mistook my quiet behavior, my quiet nature, as me accepting what he was doing. He would later tell me, well, since you stopped talking to me about what I was doing by hanging out late and etc., I thought that you were okay with it. I thought that you were just going to let me do it. I thought that you had finally accepted it. So you will find that there is much power in the fact that you are keeping quiet, keeping information to yourself, keeping your feelings to yourself, being a man or woman of few words. The next how as to how you're going to keep quiet before you leave the narcissist is you have to learn to cover your work. When you're starting to do your research on narcissism, when you're starting to do research on taking shelter, such as in going to a women's shelter, when you're starting to do research on traveling, maybe you need to leave the narcissist and go to a family member's house and you need to make travel arrangements. All of the work that you do, on the computer, mainly, you would need to cover your work. When it comes to your computer, make sure there is a password and a lock screen. This is going to keep your activity quiet as well. They're not going to have a clue what you're doing, what you're looking at, what you're about to get into. If you go to visit narcissist websites and channels trying to learn more and more about narcissism, if you're looking up things like how to escape a narcissist, looking at different strategies that you can use, if you're doing any kind of research on divorce and how it works and what are the different grounds for divorce, the different types of divorce, what is the divorce process, you want to keep all of this work that you're doing pretty much a secret. You're going to have to go in and delete your history from the different websites that you're visiting. You can't do anything on your phone or on your computer around the narcissist. Narcissists like to monitor you. They like to check in on you every now and then. When they pop in on you, when they pop up on you, you don't want them to find anything. You want everything to be quiet. You don't need your computer to be pinging with any email noises, any email notifications. The same thing with your cell phone. You don't want extra pinging from your family members and different things like that. Keep your cell phone on the quiet mode and keep your mouth quiet. The next how, in order to be quiet before I got gone from the narcissist, I had to cover my tracks. A lot of times you are coordinating with lawyers, coordinating with the court system, coordinating with the police department, even if you're having to do a restraining order. And so I found myself getting a P.O. box so that certain mail items would not come to the house for the narcissist to retrieve them. I would get a P.O. box and the narcissist knew nothing of it, and I was able to check my mail that way. If you have to leave the home and get away from the narcissist, it's best to have that P.O. box so you don't have to visit the home if you share a home together. Covering your tracks is another way to be quiet around the narcissist. Another way to be quiet around the narcissist is to cover your tuchus, believe it or not. Cover yourself. Right before the narcissist was getting ready to be served the restraining order, the sheriff's department coordinated with me because they knew the situation. And so what I decided to do was find out the exact date that the sheriff was going to serve the narcissist with that restraining order. and I gathered myself and my son, and I checked into a hotel room that night. So basically, I went to work that day. I left my son with my neighbor. And when I got off work, I picked up my son and we went straight to the hotel room, unbeknownst to the narcissist. I anticipated the narcissist being belligerent, anticipated him being violent. I did not want to be around him. The sheriff's department also coordinated with me to have the narcissist leave the residence. He had to gather the belongings that he could, and then he had to vacate. And I did not want to be around that situation, even with the sheriff's office being involved. I wanted to be far, far away. I did not want to return to the residence until I knew it was safe to do so. I was covering myself. I wanted to make sure I was completely safe. And even after that, the narcissist still had a key. There was no problem for him to violate that restraining order. So I took it a step further to cover myself. I had all of the locks changed on the house. And even after changing the locks, I invested in a hotel lock. Here's proof positive that the narcissist is violent and volatile. While I was in the process of changing the locks, he did in fact return to the residence and got into an altercation with the locksmith. This is exactly why it's very important to keep quiet, cover yourself, remain calm, and make sure you're fully protected. If the locksmith wasn't a man, and if it wasn't someone who was ready to book and do the right thing and etc., then the situation could have been a lot worse. Your safety is always number one and most important, especially when it comes to leaving a narcissist. You don't want to do anything to put yourself in more danger than you already are. A narcissist is already dangerous on his own, on his or her own. But when you add the fact that you are trying to leave them to that situation, then they become increasingly dangerous. You can see that even with a restraining order in place, the narcissist still showed up after being served that restraining order. Was not supposed to be on the property or on the premises, but he did so anyway. I was able to get law enforcement involved, and the narcissist was removed from the premises. With all this covering that you're doing, with all this keeping quiet that you're doing, you also want to make sure you cover yourself in prayer. You also want to make sure that you gain the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. God is our hedge of protection. He's a very present help in a time of trouble. Even when you remain quiet and the tears are rolling down your face, God will hear your humble cry. Pray to the Lord and ask Him to cover you with His protection, with His love, and with His peace, and He will do just that. I prayed the entire time that I was trying to escape from the narcissist, with every plan that I came up with every step of the way. I prayed the entire time, and the Lord delivered me out of bondage. There is a safe way to get away from a narcissist, and it starts with you being quiet. Whether you're dealing with a grandiose narcissist or a covert narcissist, being quiet is the key to getting away. You never let the enemy know your plans. You never let the enemy know your next move. You never let the enemy know the ponderings of your heart. You never let the enemy know the thoughts in your mind. Keep those things quiet, secret, and close to your heart. When you make up in your mind to leave the narcissist, you have to take Jesus with you, and you have to let Him lead you all the way. When it comes to leaving the narcissist, get quiet. Remember, that the light is quiet. All it does is shine. It makes no noise. Continue to let your light shine, and shine it all the way while you're getting away. Shine it. Let it light the way for you getting away from a narcissist. Let it light your path in your getaway from a narcissist. Follow the light. Follow the marvelous light.